Okay, good evening, everyone. So, welcome back to the session. For the online, I hope my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm on chat box whether I'm audible or not? If it is clear, we can start the new concept today. Okay, so it was clear. Great. So, first of all, before going for the new concept today, I think we done the project in the last session, right? So first of all, let's discuss about the project. For the first 10 minutes of the class, I'm not going to start any concept. Tell me what are the difficulties you faced on the project? What are the doubts and queries you got? First of all, let's discuss this and then go for the next topic. Deployment successful. Parameters done. How many of you done the project? Raise your hands. Nice. What about remaining? You can integrate, but no need actually. You can integrate, but that is not mandatory, I can say for you. Okay, for the online people, how many of you done the project, guys? Raise your hands. I mean, like Sudarshan done. That was very good, and Hussein also done. I think Funny also done. I seen in the Telegram channel itself. Mohit done. Great. Okay. After done with the project, tell me how's the clarity for you? Is the real-time pipeline clear for all of you? I'm like I am asking the people who done the project. Why? Because other people cannot able to get this right. Okay. So Sudarshan, it's a great experience. Clear, but one doubt. Ask Funny. As many doubts you can. Great, Pujta. Who has a doubt here? Funny, right? So Funny, you can speak like I am giving the unmute option. Go ahead and speak ahead. Wait. Can you speak now, Funny?
Yes, sir, I'm audible, sir. Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Hurry, again, the same issue with speakers gone. Funny, are you there?
Yes, sir, am I audible, sir?
You are there and I'm here, but no voice. Give me a second. Let me call the technician here.
Okay, sir.
For the first few days, it was working very fine, but now, unfortunately, or fortunately, it's not working.
At 6 p.m. That's the afternoon.
Fine. On class cross. Okay. Yes, Pujta, like whatever the GitHub repository you fork, you'll be getting all the branches. But here I have two different repositories for the same project. You might be forked some other repository, okay? But at the end of the day, you'll be getting both branches. No need to worry about it. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to start the concept of microservices. What is the name of the concept? First of all, I'll ask you a basic question. This I said in the demo session for you. Where I said? Okay. The question for you is, what is the definition of application? Tell me what are the frequent applications you use? Instagram, WhatsApp will be the common thing. Okay. What are the other things? YouTube will be the common thing. What about LinkedIn? Once upon a time, there lived a ghost. Hmm? Daily user. Tell me how many of you daily use a LinkedIn here? One, two, three. Only three. Okay. From online perception, like online guys. Okay, LinkedIn Naukri Sudarshan use and me. Oh, Madhu use 3 times per day. Okay. 4 times. Okay, fine. Okay. So, sir, you are using application. That was very good. My question for you is, what is the definition of application? That's the question for you. Take your time. Application will have database. Okay. Serving the user request. Okay. Mhm. Still, still any answers from your end? Guys, today, you are telling about DevOps, man. Craziest answer, you know. Combination of app server, web, and database. Okay, that was somewhat perfect, but I said the simplest definition. Application is nothing but see. I'll teach you what is the application without teaching what is the application. Okay, just look at the board. Let's take Paytm. Tell me any few services you know in Paytm. Movies, recharge, DTH, train. Right? What are these together called as? Services. So definition of application will be collection of services. What is the meaning of application? Collection of services together, what we can call as application. Is it clear for all of you? This is the simplest definition where you can go and you can find out. Okay. And one more thing, I would like to tell you one thing, guys. In our class, we never follow Google definitions. We never follow. I'll tell you why we don't follow. If I go to Google and ask, what is the definition of application? See what it is going to tell for me. The meaning of application is an act of applying. Okay, how to use the application in so and so. Is it the correct definition here? Absolutely no, right? So you can see a lot of definition, but these are not what exactly you want. Our expectation is the exact meaning of application in real world. What is application? Group of services together is called as application. And one more thing, like I think all of you know what is CI/CD, right? What is definition of continuous integration in Jenkins? If I go and tell this one, tell me what is continuous integration, sir? Continuous build place. But if you go to Google and if you ask, this is what continuous integration. Okay, so I'll tell you. What is continuous integration? If you go and see, like let me open the exact definition for you. I'll go to any of the random here. This is what exactly the meaning of continuous integration. Can anyone read this for me? Read that one, man. Anyone? Mm. Uh, uh, uh. Tell me one thing. You read that one, right? How difficult is it to read? If it is difficult to read, how difficult it is to understand? If it is difficult to understand, how difficult it is to remember? Is the logic clear for all of you? But what is the simplest definition we tell? Build plus continuous. That is continuous integration. Which one is easy? Our definition, right? But again, at the end of the day, both will get the same meaning. Even though if you go for continuous delivery and continuous deployment, so I'm going to go for CD. Okay. Again, you are seeing something. So just read this one for me. Uh, uh, mm, mm. Services అది ఎక్కడ ఉంది So कुछ तो समझ में आया? Have you understand anything by that word? That is the reason in our classes we never go for the Google definition. I am telling you, Google definitions are the worst definitions. Okay. At the end of the day, all you need to understand the concept. Based upon the concept, you can create your own definition, but the definition need to match the exact meaning. Okay. That is what we are going to learn. So in our classes, no need to go for Google and no need to ask any chat GPT. We can create our own definitions and we can elaborate the topic as per the real world. So here in the part of this concept, so today we are going to discuss about the concept called microservices. First of all, before going for the microservices, you need to know something about the application. What is the application here? Collection of services, right? Guys, remember in real time, for example, if you go to any company, if I want to create an application, we'll be having two different architectures to create the application. I'm not talking about 1 tier, 2 tier. That is completely different. I'm talking about the different architecture, that is monolithic architecture and microservice architecture. So again, if I wanna construct any application or if I want to create any kind of application, I'll be having two best approaches to do with it. One is monolithic architecture, second one is microservices. Acha, okay, sir, like what is monolithic and what is microservice? That is the point you need to understand. So remember here, the concept of monolithic and microservice will be very, very easy when you understand the basic difference. Okay. What is the meaning of mono? Huh? Correctly say it loudly, man. What is the meaning of mono? Single, right? That is a monolithic. Okay. Let me open the Docker document for you. So this document will be giving a lot of clarity for you in a real-time aspect. So if you go and check here, I'll be opening something called as Docker. So let me maximize. Okay. I think online you are able to hear my voice, right? Can you please confirm? Here we have the power shortage just now. Okay, okay, fine. So here you are seeing something called as Docker, right? What is the definition of this picture? Fish, huh? Correct, that is fish only, man, but it's very big fish, huh? Whale, we can call it as. In the whale, what you are seeing? That is the concept of Docker. I'll tell you what is the meaning of that ship and what is the meaning of that container. Okay. So, but before that, let's go and explore what is the architecture of mono and micro. Okay. See, if we have a chance to create any kind of application, there will be two best approaches to follow. First one will be monolithic. Second one will be the microservice. So monolithic is nothing but, for example, if you see the any kind of application, okay, here application is the collection of services. If I deploy all the services, see, if I called services or if I called application, that will be same meaning. Services or application will be same meaning. Just assume this one. If I deployed the single application, okay, if I deployed the single application in a single server with single database, that is what we can call as monolithic. What we called as our entire application will be deployed on only one server and you are having only one database for this server. That is what we can call as monolithic. Second one is going to be the microservices. What we can call it as microservice means, sir, in monolithic, all the services will be on single server or not, sir? All the services will be on single server and you are having single database. But in microservice, what exactly will happen? Each and every service will be on separate server with separate database. For example, let's take a Paytm movies. So this movie service will have some separate server and separate database. Okay. Let's take Paytm train service. This train service will be on separate server with separate. Let's take DTH, separate server and and like recharge, separate server in separate database. So this is what exactly the meaning of mono and micro. Mono means all the services will be on single server with having single database. Microservice means each and every service will be on different server with different. For example, if I have 10 services in monolithic, how many servers I want? In monolithic, how many database I want? One. But in microservice, for the 10 services, you require 10 servers and 10. So is the concept of mono and micro clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm, is the mono and micro clear for all of you or not? Why? Because this is going to be very, very amazing tool, okay, and very easy tool to understand, okay. Okay, it was clear. So now here my question is, sir, I said the definition of mono and micro. Now you tell me which one is better to choose, monolithic or microservice? Micro, na? Be sure. How many of you say microservice? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So remaining all are mono, na? Mono. Okay. So I'll be having a question for all the people who opted for microservice. Sir, in monolithic, how many servers you are maintaining? But in microservice, 10. Right? So now you compare. In monolithic, you are only telling, you said microservice is going to be the best one. Okay, I'll come to your point only. So in monolithic architecture, you required only one single server. You required only one single server to maintain all the services. But whereas if you go to the microservice, you required 10 different servers. How many different servers? 10 different servers. Okay. So now you tell me which one is better to manage, single or 10 servers? That means which one is better? 10 servers. That means mono or micro? So monolithic required only one server with one database. But whereas this microservice required 10 servers with 10 different databases. So here you have two disadvantages majorly. First of all, maintenance. Sir, working on one server will take only 1 minute. For example, let's take. So working on one server might take 1 minute, for example, but 10 servers will take. So time is wasting or not, sir? Here, lot of things we need to manage manually. Time is wasting, as well as human power is going to be consumed a lot. So for single server, I'll be enough. But 10 servers, how many DevOps in need for our organization? That is disadvantage number one. I mean, like second one is gonna be the cost. To handle a single server, let's take I'm paying 10 rupees per day per monolithic. But for microservice, how many rupees I need to pay? 100. Now, in terms of maintenance, in terms of cost, which one is better to choose? Monolithic. Now you tell me which one is better. Arey, ruko zara, I'll come to your point. Wait. I'm not done yet, okay? There is a famous dialogue of Mahesh Babu, right? Like Bharat and Nenu. I'm not done yet. Here also I'm not done yet, okay? So now in this aspect, if you go and compare, okay? So which one is better? Monolithic is better. Why? Because in the microservices, you are having majorly two disadvantages. How many disadvantages here? What are the two disadvantages here? First of all, maintenance. Like maintenance will be having a lot of factors like power consumption, like if it is on-prem or like human power required as well as maintenance, everything will come under single point. Second one is gonna be the cost effective. Now, which one is better here? Monolithic. So now, first of all, you opted for microservice. Now you came to that mono is better. Correct or not, sir? If monolithic is better, then again we are having one more disadvantage. Let's say tomorrow we are having the new movie release called Pushpa. For example, let's take. So currently, for this server, I'm going to have the movie service. Which service? Let me make it like apart from movies, we have some other thing also, but let me make it movies, Prime, DTH, recharge. So this will be the 4 services, right? So now what I'll be doing, sir, tell me one thing. All of we daily use the movie service in Paytm? No. That means in a normal days, Paytm server will be actively running without any load. But if the movie got Pushpa is going to release, some millions of requests are going to hit to this server or not, sir? Daily, it won't get millions of requests, but suddenly some millions of requests are going to get to that server. So ultimately the server will be going to crash. What is going to happen here? Okay, sir, if the server will be crashed, apart from the movie service, the effect is also going to be have with the train DTH recharge. See, load is for only movie service, but here the entire application is going to crash. That means eventually train will not work, DTH will not work, recharge is not going to work. So due to the effect of one service, rest of the service are going to be completely collapsed or not, sir? Now which one is better? But if it is microservice, see, but if it is microservice, my movies will be on separate server. I mean, like movie service will be, as well as my train service will be on separate server, as well as my DTH will be separate server, as well as my recharge will be on separate. For example, if new movie got released like the Pushpa and Kalki movies, all the load will be going to only movie server. In this case, train server, DTH, recharge are going to affect. Now, in this case, which one is better again? Sure. If microservice is better, again the cost and maintenance are going to issue or not, sir? Now, which one is better? But you are having high cost na, and high maintenance na. Take your time, take a deep breath, relax, and let me know the answer. Which one is better to choose and why? Micro only. Still, how many of you are opting for micro? So rest of the people will be mono. Confused. Okay. Online microservice. Long lasting microservice. Who said man? Okay. If you have the best service, you have to pay for that. Okay. Okay. So the answer will be microservice. What is the answer? Why microservice means, see, here if the effect will be happening for only movies, rest of the services train details will be completely lost. So this is going to be very, very bad approach. Why? Because due to effect of one service, rest of the things are going to be fell down. But in microservice, if movie service got heavy load, unfortunately, even though if it will crash, train DTH recharge will work or not, sir? That means will be on safer side. Okay. So for this one, we can conclude the microservice is going to be one of the best architecture. But here, if you go and see factors, what are the factors we are having effect? Cost and see, if you want to maintain 10 servers, it will take a lot of time and a lot of human power is going to be required and cost is going to be very, very high. In order to work with in order to overcome this disadvantage, in order to work with the microservice, we are going to introduce something called as containers. What we are going to introduce? So containers are nothing but your servers, but lowest level of server. See, for example, this is what we can call as server, right? So I'll be taking some other color. This is what we can call as container, but small size. We can call it as whatever your server will do. Okay, whatever your server will do, your container can also do the same thing. So it is my server. It is my container. So remember, again, I'm repeating this point. Whatever your server can do, the same thing can be done with the container. So let's explore what is the meaning of container. Container is same as a server or virtual machine. You don't know what is a VM? We'll discuss it later. Okay. Container is same like virtual machine or server. But these containers will not have any kind of operating system. Sir, whatever server will do, in our server, can we run the application? Can we deploy the application? Can we access the application? Same thing, whatever we do from the server, same thing we can achieve with the container also. Simply, I can call it as mini version of the server. What do we call as? But the best advantage is for server, you need to pay money, but for container, you need not to pay money. That is absolutely free of cost. Okay. Both will be doing the same work, but server will be paid one, container will be free to use. Okay. It's same as server or virtual machine, but it is not going to have any kind of operating system. Here, operating system will be residing on called image. So, if you create a server, we have something called as AMI, right? What is AMI full form? What do we have on AMI? OS, packages, right? So here also for container, we have something called as image. See, For example, if it is container, you want to run an application inside the container. So if I want to interact with the container, definitely I need to have some OS. By default, container will be created without any operating system. So we need to inject the operating system from the image. This image will be having the complete operating system which required to run our container. Is it clear now? Yes. And containers are free of cost and we can create multiple containers. There is a question in the interview for the experienced people. Maximum how many containers you can create in a single server? Answer will be no limit. There is no any particular limit for it. Is it clear? So again, I'm repeating one more time. So microservice is going to be best architecture, but the factors affecting are factor one will be the cost and factor two will be the. So in order to overcome these two factors, we are going to replace servers with containers. What is container? It's same as server or VM. It will not have any kind of operating system. Here, where do we get the operating system? OS will be from. Just like for server, we give AMI. For container, we give the. Inside this image, we have the operating system which required to run applications on the container itself. And finally, to create the container, we are going to charge 0 rupees. And we can create multiple containers inside the single server. See, for example, if I create an EC2 instance, okay, inside the EC2 instance, I want to deploy 10 services. For 10 services, how many containers required? So I can deploy all of my 10 containers inside the single EC2. There is no particular limit for it. So in that case, maintenance will be very easy or not, sir? Why? Because all your containers are on single place. So it will become very easy for me to manage itself. So is the concept of containers clear for all of you? Know? Online, can you please confirm is containers concept clear for all of you or not? Fine. So next year, sir, if I want to create a container, I need to have a tool. The tool is called as here Docker. Docker is a tool which will create the containers. So as you know, every DevOps tool is going to be free and open source and platform independent. Like this, Docker is also going to be free and open source and platform independent. So it is used to create, run, and deploy application on the container. I said, so till now we worked and deployed the application on the servers, but from now we are going to deploy the applications on containers. So this Docker was introduced in the year 2013 by two developers called Solomon Hykes and Sebastian Fall. These two were developers who created the Docker for us. Okay, in the which year? 2013. That means it's been almost 11 years. Okay. So this Docker was introduced with the Go language. That means completely this Docker is written on the Go language. See from the scratch, Linux, first of all, we learned which language for Linux? Linux written on which programming language? C. Git. Git also C only. Maven. అన్నిటికీ C అని ఇంకా Java. Jenkins. Ansible. Python. Docker. Next we will learn Kubernetes. That is also Go language. Next we will learn Prometheus Grafana. That is also Go language. Next we will learn Terraform. That is also. From now, whatever the tools you are going to learn, everything will be on Go language only. Okay. This is very powerful language, guys. Go language full form is Google official language. Which language? I'm asking full form, man. Okay. Okay. So in the Docker, we write the files on YAML format. Which format? I think all of you are comfortable with YAML, right? What is YAML? Yet another markup language. Okay. Before Docker, user faced a lot of problems, but after Docker, there is no issue with the application. This is the major issue you need to understand in the Docker. Again, I'm telling before Docker, user faced a lot of problems, but after Docker, there is no issue. Sir, what is the definition of this point? Can anyone tell me the definition of this point? Docker mundu, Docker tarvata, right? Before Docker, what happened? User faced a lot of the problems. After Docker, tell me one real life example for it. If interviewer asked, if sorry, I'm teaching you this point, you will go and say it on the interview. The interviewer like is like a mad guy. Okay, you said this point to him and he's asking to prove on real life. You said this point, na? how you are going to prove on real life. Okay. Example only, like which example you can give? Exam result. Okay, I'll teach you. See, this is the craziest point actually, what you are going to learn now. See, like before I explain this point, I would like to know one thing from your end. How many of you know PUBG here? PUBG wala. Only two, na? Three. Hey, man, you lived on the golden era, but you don't know PUBG. It's crazy. Why? The reason why I'm asking about PUBG is whatever the concept I'm gonna teach you, that concept is related for the PUBG application. This is the real life example what we encounter in the technical world. Okay. See, I'm gonna explain. In the year of 2017, and 2018 starts. Okay, in that time, the application called PUBG released into the market. Correct or not, sir? So when the first version of the application got released in the market, so it's take version 1.0, I can say. So in real time, you can't call it as 1.0. We need to call it as 1.0, 2.0 like that. Okay, that is the standard word what we can use. So once I download the application, this application will not work initially. Can anyone tell me why the reason it's not working at initial version of PUBG? Guys, you said you played PUBG. You need to tell the answer now. Bandwidth. Huh? Say it loudly. C plus. Huh? Android? No. Ille. Or let's go from the online things. Correct, Satya. Correct. The reason is what PUBG people done, Sir, if I want to play PUBG, what is the most important thing I want? What is the resource? That is maps. What that is? Initially, these PUBG creators, these are the dumbest people I can say. Why? Because see, what these people done, these people created the application on the internet. Okay, so that is on the Play Store. Application is on the Play Store, but if I want to play the application, I need to have the maps. Why? Because these maps are the dependency to play the application. But what these people done, these people put the application on Play Store and maps on the internet. Now I'm new to PUBG. I don't know anything. If I download the application and if I try to start the application, will the application run? No, why? Because this application will have the dependency called maps, which is placed on the internet. That means you have the application, but there is no dependency in the mobile. That is the reason this version 1 got failed. Okay. But after knowing this one, what these people done, in the version number 2, instead of putting the PUBG application, in the Play Store and maps on the internet, these people put the maps inside the application now. Now in the version 2, if I download the application, do I need to download the map separately? Is my application going to work fine or not, sir? Why? Because your maps, that means your dependency is inside the application only. So externally, no need to download any kind of resource from the internet to use the application. So this is what we can call as the best example of containerization. What do we call as? Before Docker. Here, what is the point I said? Before Docker, user faced a lot of problem. That means before Docker, what happened here? These PUBG creators put the application on the Play Store and maps on the internet. That is when before PUBG, but sorry, before Docker. But after Docker, what these people done here? These maps, whatever the maps they have created in the internet, now these maps are directly included in the application itself. Now, do I need to go to internet separately and do I need to download the map separately here? No. So this whole process is what we can call as containerization. What do we call as? So this is going to be the first definition for the interview in the Docker scenario. Containerization means the process of packing application with its dependency. What is the application here? PUBG. What is the dependency here? This is the best example for the Dockerization. You can call it as Dockerization or you can call it as containerization. Both will be the same meaning. Okay. If you go to any place, okay, or any interview, this is the first question they will ask you. Tell me about containerization. Tell me what is the meaning of containerization? Process of packing application with its. That means wherever the application is there, your dependency also need to be there. What is the best example here? PUBG. Is it clear for all of you now? Online, can you please confirm, is the definition of containerization clear for all of you or not? Okay, fine. Okay, sir. You said that PUBG application will be the example for the Docker, but we never played PUBG. How many of you never played PUBG? Raise your hands. Then what about us? We don't know PUBG. No. How can we understand? Of course. Even though if you don't play PUBG, I'll take one more example for you to make the better understanding. So all of the people who never played PUBG, at least you celebrated your friend's birthday, right? At least once. What is the most common thing that happened in the birthday celebration? Cake cutting. Let's take the cake. This is enough to give the example for containerization. For example, you want to celebrate your friend birthday. Why you want to celebrate the friend birthday? For the party. We invest only 500, but in return we expect a 5,000 party. Very good business or not, sir? See, simple terms, we will bring the cake. How much the cake will cost? 500 or if not 1,000. But if in return, if you take them to restaurant, how much the bill is going to be? Minimum 5,000. Correct or not, sir? So this is the best business actually. So now go and see. You have your friend birthday party. So you wish to celebrate the birthday party. So you ordered the cake on Swiggy. Where you ordered? You ordered the cake on Swiggy. So this Swiggy guy delivered the cake for you. Okay. So you have taken the cake. He went away. Now you want to make him cut the cake. But unfortunately here the dependency to cut the cake, what is the major thing we need to have? Knife. Knife is missing. Knife is. You have the cake, but the dependency for the cake is knife. That knife is not there. In that case, dependency is missing or not, sir? But if the same Swiggy guy order you the cake along with the knife inside the single box. Here you have the cake initially, but knife you need to go and buy on some separate store. So your dependency is missing. But if the same Swiggy guy given the cake and knife together inside the single pack, now you have the application, you have the dependency or not, sir? It is also going to be one of the application. I mean, like one of the example for the dependency. Here you can say here application is nothing but cake. And what is the dependency here? Knife. So based upon the above two examples, if you are a PUBG lover, go ahead and explain the first example. No, sir, if you don't know PUBG, go ahead and explain the second. Any example will match the definition. Is the point clear for all of you? So again, what is the meaning of containerization? Process of packing the application with its. What is the best example we can say? PUBG, right? So tell PUBG why? Because PUBG is the real life example what we all have experienced. If you tell these kind of examples, na, the interviewer will be very, very impressed by your work. Why? Because I have seen a lot of people, freshers or experience level. If I ask something, they'll go and tell me the Google definition. What I do with the Google definition? What I'll do, sir? See, companies will not expect the Google definition from you. Companies will expect the real world scenario based definitions and real world scenario based events. If you are familiar with these kind of things, then cracking the interview will be very, very easy for all of you. Is it clear? Fine. So this is the process of containerization. Okay. And you can call it as OS level of virtualization also. I'll tell what is the meaning of OS level of virtualization in tomorrow's session. But remember, you can call it as containerization or you can call it as Dockerization. What do we call as? Like the meaning will be same. Process of packing application with its. Correct. So now you got that with the help of the Docker, we can create the container. Inside the container, we can run the application and whatever the dependency for the application, we can pack it on the together itself. Okay. But here now my question is, if I want to work with Docker, first of all, I need to understand the architecture of Docker. What we need to understand? So guys, the Docker architecture is gonna be very, very easy to understand. But before that, tell me one thing. If you want to understand the Docker architecture, I'll ask you a question. in our childhood, in the month of January, I think so. Our schools will be taking picnic to us, right? Like we'll be going to picnic in our school days, right? Do you remember that scenario? If you remember that scenario, this Docker architecture will be very, very easy. Here I'm gonna give some storytelling for you. What is the meaning of storytelling? Huh? Storytelling, man. Storytelling means, see, if I want to teach you something, I'll be teaching in terms of stories. If I tell you a story, from the story, I'm going to derive the original concept. That's what going to happen now. So look at the diagram once and let me know like what you understand from the diagram. Just see the diagram once and let me know what you came to know by seeing that one. Hmm. So what you understand by the diagram here? Huh? Screenshot. Students, student, teacher. Okay. Have you heard my previous session? Then you know it. I think so. Okay. Uh, okay. Fine. So guys, listen here. I'm gonna give some storytelling for you. So this is going to be amazing actually. See, directly if I go and tell the technical aspect, you are not going to understand the architecture. For that purpose, what I'll be doing, first of all, I'll tell a small story for you. From the story, we can derive the original architecture and original concept. See, first of all, in our childhood days, so imagine it was morning 9 a.m. So our prayer got done. Okay. So it is a very first period. So your PT sir, right? PT sir came to the class in the English ma'am period. I don't know why he came at that time. Okay, so focus on the concept. So after coming to the class, he said that children, studies are not everything. So till the days you studied very well and you wrote your exams very well. Now it's time to enjoy yourself. So enjoyment is also going to be one of the important part of our life. So in the part of enjoyment, so tomorrow our school management is decided you to take to the picnic. So all you need to do is just come with your lunch boxes tomorrow. So we'll be taking you to the picnic. After hearing that word, what is the expression of us, sir? We'll be like, huh? Like we will be very happy or not. So at the end of the happiness, so like he said that, okay, we are going to take you picnic. But at the end of the word, he said that you need to bring the lunch bag. So that was okay. After end of that word, he said one more thing, and you need to bring your own money. That is 1,000 rupees for the picnic. Now, however, heart will felt, it will be broken or not, sir. Why? Because as a student, we don't have money, right? So after saying this word, we'll be like, first of all, what is the major thing here? If PT sir want us to take to the picnic, the major thing what we require is money. What do we require here? So immediately we'll be trying to check the money or not, sir. So this PT sir want here money. So I'm gonna make this one. So PT sir want money to take us to the picnic. So here, what is our major goal? To get the money. So as a student, I don't, first of all, I'll check with myself. First of all, I'll check with, so I'll check my bags, I'll check my pockets, I'll check everywhere to get the money. So after checking everywhere, I found that I don't have any money with me. So if I don't have any money, so directly I'll be going to the home, and who is the person I'm going to contact? Mom. So I'm going to my home and telling to my mommy, like our PT sir is telling that they are going to take us to the picnic. So they are asking 1,000 rupees for the picnic, but I don't have sufficient money to give him. So if you have some money, please give it to me. So as a mother, like what she do is she will check with herself. She will check the every place, like we have something called pop doubles, right? Where we used to store the money. Okay. And our vault lockers. So she check everywhere. Okay. If she find the money, she will give to me, and I'll be going to give to the PT sir. So I'll be going to the picnic. But here, first of all, I check with myself. If I get the money, I'll give it to PT sir. If I don't get the money, whom I'm going to know? Mom. So I'll ask mom. If mom get the money, like if like mom is having the money, she's gonna hand over the money to me, and I'm gonna hand over the money to the PT sir. But if mom is not having the money, so whom she is going to approach now? Daddy. Here there is a question, sir. Why can't we directly go and approach to the daddy? Why? Because we know our daddy has very long belt in our home, so directly we don't dare this much of things with him. So now she is the one who can go and ask to the daddy. So now this like our mummy is asking to daddy. So like our child want to go to picnic with his school friends. So for that purpose, he required some amount for it. So if we have the amount, just give it to me. I'll give it to the child, and this child will going to give to the PT sir. Now after some discussion, so dad finally agrees to give the money. Okay, so now dad give the money to the mom, and mom give money to me, and I am giving the money to the. Is my requirement satisfied or not, sir? Satisfied or not? In the same way, Docker architecture is going to work. In the same way, Docker architecture is going to work. How the Docker architecture will work, here PT sir is nothing but the user. PT sir is nothing but the user want the application. Here application will be on image. Where is the application? Image. First of all, just like me, see here user definitely want the application. The application will be on image. Just like here we want the money to give to the PT sir. Here also we want the image to give to the user. First of all, Docker client will check with itself. Do you have the image or not? If Docker client is having the image, the client will give the image to the, just like we give money to the PT sir directly. If you don't have money, so whom you are going to approach? If you don't have the money, whom we are going to approach here? To our mom. Here also, if client is not having, Docker client is not having the image, Docker client will approach the Docker host. I mean, like here, Docker daemon in our case. Basically, we can call as daemon. Okay. So Docker client will ask to the Docker daemon like this. So Docker daemon, here a particular user is requesting the image. As a client, I check the image. I don't have any image, so I'm asking you. If you have the image, give it to me. Just like we ask money to our mom, this Docker client will ask the image to the Docker daemon. Now, Docker daemon will check with itself. Do you have the image or not? If Docker daemon is having the image, it will be given to the client. Just like if our mom have the money, she's gonna give to us. Just like this Docker daemon have the image, it is going to give to the client. But if our mom is not having the money, to whom she is going to approach? Here also, Docker daemon will approach something called as Docker registry. What do we call it as? Docker registry. So our dad have the money in the home. Okay, here also Docker registry will have all the images that required for the user. So this registry will have the image. From the registry, the image will go to the Docker daemon. Just like the money will go from dad to mom. So from the daemon, again the image will go to the client. Just like the money will come from mom to me. So from the client, the image will finally go to the end user will have the application. Just like we have the money, we give to the PT sir. So PT sir will take us to the picnic. So this is the exact way how the Docker architecture will work. Again, I'm explaining you. Here, if I want to go to the picnic, I need to have the money. First of all, I'll check with myself. If I don't have the money, I'll go to ask here mom. If mom is having the money, she will give it to me. Otherwise, mom is going to ask to the dad. So eventually dad will have the money. Why? Because he is the bank locker for our home. So he will give money to the mom, and from the mom, money will go to the me, and from me, the money will go to the PT sir. Here also same thing. Here instead of PT sir, we are assuming the user. What here user want? Image. Why? Because our application will be on image only. First of all, user will ask image to the client. If client have the image, it will give to the user. If client doesn't have the image, it is going to ask to the Docker daemon. If Docker daemon have the image, this image will be given to the client itself. But if Docker daemon doesn't have the image, it is going to ask to the registry. So registry will have all the images. From the registry, image will come to the daemon. From the daemon, image will come to the client, and from the client, the image will finally give to the user. So this is the architecture of the Docker. So now tell me one thing. Is Docker architecture clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm me how's the architecture for you? Is it clear for all of you? Can you please confirm? Okay. So it was very clear for all of you. Great. Fine. Okay, sorry. In the architecture, you said about client, you said about daemon, you said about registry. But what are these components? Let's go and explore each and every component. Docker client is nothing but if I run any command, the command will be taken by the Docker client, executed by the Docker client, and output will be given to the Docker. Output will be given to the user. That means if user want to interact with Docker, here Docker client will be the major component which is responsible to interact with the user. So here we can run the commands and we can get the output here. That is what I mentioned in the notes for you. If you go to the notes here, client, it will interact with the user. User gives the commands and it will be executed by the Docker client and gives the output. Second one will be Docker daemon. Docker daemon is nothing but this is responsible to manage all the Docker components like Docker images we have, Docker containers we have, Docker volumes we have. So like this, we are having lot of components in the Docker. Every component in the Docker is going to manage by the Docker daemon. It's a service. Third one will be Docker host. Docker host means where we install Docker. For example, okay, like here, if I create an EC2 instance, if I create Docker on EC2 instance, this will be my Docker host. Now, if I install Docker on my local laptop will be Docker host. If I install Docker on virtual machine, that virtual machine will be my Docker host. That means wherever you install Docker, that is what we can call as Docker host. So we can install Docker on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Already we said it is platform independent. And the fourth one will be registry, which will manage the images. So this is the separate concept what you are going to learn in the upcoming days. But as of now, remember, it will manage all the Docker images. So again, I'm explaining Docker client. This is to interact with the user. It will take the command from the user, execute the commands, and gives the output. So as a DevOps engineer, we need to perform the operation on Docker. So we need to give commands to the Docker client only. So Docker daemon manages the Docker like images, containers, volume. There are a lot of components in the Docker to discuss. I'll discuss each and every concept with you. But every component in the Docker will be managing by the Docker daemon. Third one will be Docker host. Host means where we install Docker, like Windows, Linux, Mac. It doesn't matter really. Wherever if you want to install, you can install. But in our class, we're gonna install Docker on the EC2. That means what is the Docker host in our course? EC2. Finally, Docker registry. This is going to manage all the images. What is the meaning of image? Inside the image, what we have? OS, application, packages, everything that required to run the application. So is the components clear for all of you know? Fine. So now if I show you some practical examples, so this is going to be very, very easy for you. So what exactly I'm going to do is now, I'm going to create a EC2 instance and I'm going to show you how to install the Docker. So here a question from the online. So Anil, what is the meaning of Docker image? Already we discussed inside the image, we have the operating system, packages, software, which require to run the application. Hope it's clear for you, Anil Kumar. So guys, I'm going to create an EC2 instance here and I'm going to install Docker on it. So I think all of you know the command to install Docker. Like what is the command to install Docker here? Directly straight command, yum install Docker -y. Wait, it's loading slowly, wait. Initially, we were on 202. There we got the network issue. We changed to here. Again, the same network issue is coming. I am connecting to the LAN as well as internet also here, but both seems to be working very slowly. Even I'm not able to load the console also. Strange. Okay, first of all, let me like create an EC2 instance so we can from CLI the operation will be very speed, but first of all, this GUI need to load. Connect to? Sorry, let me check. Okay, so I think it's fine for now online. So I'm gonna create an EC2 instance just like normal one. Like let's take the key pair here, all traffic. Fine. And one more thing, see basically whatever the containers we are going to create, that containers will use the host resource. What is the meaning of host resource here? See, this is our Docker host. What this one is? Docker host. That means these containers, whatever we are going to create on the like Docker host, these containers will use the CPU and RAM, like RAM from our EC2. Currently, where I'm installing the Docker inside the EC2 only. That means what are the containers you're gonna create inside the EC2? That containers will use CPU, memory, and storage from our EC2 only. Okay. And even that they can use our operating system also. So this is the point you need to understand. So let me connect to the Docker here. I'll try to install Docker. What is the command to install Docker, sir? Install Docker. Let me open Mobex now. Mobex now is not opening. Okay. So now just look at here. I'm going to install Docker now. So we will be performing some of the basic commands for today, and like we'll be looking to the next command in the upcoming session. Okay. Just only basic commands I'm going to touch now. See, Docker is a service. So I think all of you know. So whenever if we download any service, first of all, we need to start them. What we need to do? Start them. So I'll be downloading the Docker very quickly here. Sorry, man, like why this is happening to only this class particularly daily? I don't know, like previously it never happened the technical issue, but only for this batch at this particular time, daily we are getting any kind of issue. This is very crazy. So now see here. So the command to install Docker is yum install Docker. So I'm writing here yum install Docker -y. Okay. So this is straight command what you can use to install Docker. So after that, once you install Docker, next thing you need to do is starting the service. What is the command to start the service? System C. Got disconnected again. Okay. So I'm installing the Docker now here. Yum install Docker -y. So this Docker will be installing now. So give the command systemctl start Docker. and give the command systemctl status docker. So now your Docker is running inside your EC2 instance. So guys, here remember, by default, whenever if you create a Docker, I mean, like whenever if you install any Docker, by default you don't have any images. Are you seeing any image here? No. Here, what is my major agenda? My major agenda is to create the container. But to create the container, first of all, you need to have the image. Without having the image, it is not possible to create any kind of container itself. For that purpose, what we'll be doing, first of all, I'm going to download the image from the Docker Hub. So already we said, in the Docker, do you have images here? In the Docker, you don't have. In the Docker host also, you don't have. It is my Docker host only. Okay. So client is not having the image and daemon is also not having the image. So image we need to get from the Docker. Where? Registry. So the command is docker pull Amazon Linux. So Amazon Linux means whatever the OS we are using. So the same OS I'm pulling now. So doc Amazon Linux. So is the Docker pulling the Amazon Linux operating system or not, sir? Give the command docker images. Now in this particular image called Amazon Linux, my Linux operating system is running. What is running? Now if I want to create a container from the image, the command is, what is the command I used to download the image? Docker pull. If you use docker pull, that is going to download the image. But if I want to run the container, instead of pull, I'm going to put the command called run. Pull is to download the image. Run is to create the container. And if you want to give the name of the container, you can give it. But before that, put -it. -it will take you inside the container. -it means what? Will take you inside the container. And finally, name. --name. Name of the container can be anything. I'm going to give it as container1 here. So again, I'm telling docker pull is the command to download the image. But if I want to create a container, instead of pull, I'm going to put run. To go inside -it stand for interactive terminal. Okay. And if I want to give name, put comma --name will be container1. Hit enter. Now you are inside the Amazon Linux container. You know what is Amazon Linux? Till now, all of the days we use Amazon Linux only. What I said, container is like server. In our server, what is the command? We used to list the files here. ls. Is the command working here? In our server, what is the command we used to create the file? Touch file. Oh, wait, touch, TYUCH. Is the file one got created now? And in our server, what is the command to install Git? Yum install -y. Is the Git installing now? Downloading or not, sir? Yes. Okay. You can see the Git is downloading now. Command to install Apache. Yum install HTTPD. So I can give the same command now. Wait, but again it disconnected. So this is the commands what I have already given here. So you need not to worry about these commands. If you go and see here, let me go and quickly show you Docker. So this is the command I have given. Okay. First of all, I have pulled the image. Of course, I have taken Amazon Linux, but here I have taken Ubuntu. I'll explain with Ubuntu also. Don't worry. So like this. That means simply you can understand whatever you are doing inside the container, server, you can do inside the container also. Now this time, if I want to download the Ubuntu image, I want to work with Ubuntu operating system. To work with Ubuntu operating system, I need to download the Ubuntu image. Which image? What is the command to download the Ubuntu image from the Docker registry? Command to download the image. I just now said docker pull command. That command is going to download. Docker run command is to create the container. Pull is to download the image. Run is to create the container. It's make me more frustrating. Like, so go and give here command Docker images. Currently, you are having how many images? Only one. But if I give the command Docker pull Ubuntu, this is so now see the command Docker pull Ubuntu. So this is going to download the Ubuntu image. Inside the Ubuntu image, what you are going to have Ubuntu OS. So Docker images. Are you seeing the Ubuntu now here? Sir, from this Ubuntu image, I want to create container. Instead of pull, what I'm going to put here? Run. So Docker run. Sir, if I want to go inside hyphen, here I have clearly mentioned that one. Here IT stand for interactive terminal to go inside the container. Okay. So now go in, give the name, hyphen name. Already we have given container 1. Now I'm giving container 2. So now you are inside the container. Sir, how to make sure you are inside Ubuntu container only? There is a command called cat etc os release. This command will show the operating system and flavor name. What is the flavor we are taking here? Ubuntu. Fine. That means, first of all, you download the Ubuntu image. From the image, what you created later? Container. Inside this container, you can do whatever you want. It's like a server, right? You can create files, you can install packages, you can do whatever you want. Okay. So till now you worked on Amazon Linux, use M package manager, but in Ubuntu use apt. What we use? For example, if I want to install Maven, so M install Maven will not work for you. You need to give apt. What we need to give here? Apt. Let me show you. But before that, guys, remember in Ubuntu, if I directly it's testing my patience. In Ubuntu, if you directly use the command, these commands will not work. Why? Because for Ubuntu, definitely you need to run the apt update command. Which command? Here I have given this one, apt update -y to update. Okay. For Red Hat, we use M package manager. For Ubuntu, we use apt. If you don't use apt update and if you try to install any package, that package will not work for you. Let me show you. Sudo -. Currently, my container is on outside. See, if you go and see Docker ps-a. This is the command to list the containers. What is the command? Docker ps-a. PS will list only running containers. ps-a will list all the containers. Currently, I came out of the container. If I want to go inside the container, command is Docker attach name of the container. I am going to container 2. So apt install, give the command maven -y. This will not work. Command is correct, but it will not work. Why? Because first of all, we need to run the command apt update. -y is not mandatory. Remember, without updating, you cannot install any package on Ubuntu. Is it working now? See. So the major point you need to understand is without upgrading, the Ubuntu operating system will not install any kind of packages. Okay. Similarly, I want to install Apache. What I want to install? So what is the command? apt install http not. Here we need to use Apache 2. What we need to use? So in the Ubuntu OS, directly http won't work. The package name will be Apache 2. APACH. So now the Apache 2 will run. Okay. So like this, here I have mentioned each and every point. What I mentioned here, first of all, installing Git, Apache, and if you want to start, command is service Apache to start. Let me show this command also. So service Apache to start. It is started. If you want to check the status, service Apache to status. Status running now? Is it running or not, sir? Like that. So you can perform all the commands. You can create files, you can create folders, everything. That means whatever the stuff you are going to do inside the server, same stuff you can do with the container. So now if you want to exit from the container, use the command control PQ. What is the command? Control PQ. You can use control D also, but control D is not a safe method. Control D or control PQ, both you can use. Okay. But I'm using control PQ. I'll tell you the difference. What is the command to list the Docker containers? Docker PS. This command will show only running containers. But if I put -a, this is going to show all the containers. If I want to stop the container, command is Docker stop. Name of the container will be container1. Is container going to stop now? See. Stop will take some time to stop the container. Is it taking some time to stop? Yes. If I use Docker ps-a now, it is on which state here? Exit. Which state? Exit. So again, if I want to start it, same command, Docker start and name of the container. So again, if you go and give the command Docker ps-a, is it starting or not, sir? It is on which status now? Up. But previously it was exit. Sir, similarly, if I want to stop the container, what is the command? I said Docker stop container1 or container2. But instead of stop, I'm going to use kill now. Which command? Sir, previously stop command took some time to stop, but kill will not take the time. It will be do the action within immediately. Is it done immediately? Again, you can go Docker ps-a. Currently, the content is on which state? Exit state. So like these are the commands, okay? Docker PQ means to exit from the container, ps-a to list all the containers. Docker attach means to go inside the container. Stop is to stop the container. Start is to Docker and name of the container will be common, but in the middle, if you want to go inside, attach. If you want to stop, put stop. If you want to start, put start. If you want to pause, pause means content will be on pause status. Again, you can unpause also. Finally, if I want to delete, the command is Docker RM command. Which command? So give the command Docker RM container1. Now you can see Docker ps-a. You are having only one container. How many containers? No, sir. If I want to get complete information of a container, Docker inspect container2. Are you getting complete information of container here? That's it. So it is enough for today. What we done is just we have seen what is Docker, what Docker can do, architecture, installation, as well as some of the basic comments. Don't worry, these comments we are going to repeat on tomorrow's session also. So now before going for doubts and queries, my first question for all of you is, it is day one of Docker, right? How's the Docker of day one for you? Is it clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me, how's the class for all of you today? Can you confirm me on chat box? Okay, it was clear. Great. Okay. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries over today's session, offline you can ask me, and online you can ping me on comment section. Why? Because the mic is not ready here. Like I'm not able to hear your voice, unfortunately. So just please ping your doubts and queries on the comment section if you are having any queries over today's session. I have given the notes too. I'm unable to access class notes from last 2 days. Satya, I think you haven't got the new Google Classroom. So we have changed the new Google Classroom. Okay. So your previous Google Classroom will not work and the notes will not be updated there. So it is a new Google Classroom. Please ping to your admin. He is going to send you the new Google Classroom link. Hope it is clear for you. And one more thing is you need to fill the form. Okay. Google form you need to fill. So otherwise you won't get the new Google Classroom access. Please ping to admin once, Satya. Guys, any doubts? Why? Because like there is some other class going to happen now here. So if you have any queries, just please make it quickly. We can finish it off. Stop will take some time. Okay. For example, if your container is running, if you give the stop command, it is going to stop the process first and delete and stop the container. But kill is not like that. Even though your process is running inside the container, kill will stop the container immediately. It won't care about the process happening. That's it. Okay. You can call it as forcefully stopping. Killing means forcefully stopping the container. Sure, Sudarshan, like I'm gonna put the resumes on the Google Classroom tomorrow. Let me know, okay? Tomorrow I'll put it. Yes, Shamshuddin. So difference is time as well as process. So stop will not, sorry, kill will not care about the process of the container. It is gonna stop the container immediately. But stop is not like that. It is gonna stop the process first, and then only the container will come to exit state. Don't worry. This one tomorrow also I'm gonna explain for you. Sir, when the Linux batch is going to start? Like I'm not sure about this one. Please ping to admin like 9. 27th. In a couple of days more, I think so. Fine. Okay then. So let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you. Thank you online.